Hello, everyone, and welcome to CML Talks, the first podcast session hosted by Center for Maritime Law, National Law University Odisha. This session is a revamp of the YouTube lecture series that our center started in the year 2020. Through this podcast show, we aim to create and spread awareness in the field of maritime law with the rich experiences that the guest would be bringing. In today's session, we have the opportunity to host Aishwarye Dubey sir, who is currently serving as a maritime consultant to the Euro Exim Bank, and he is a maritime lawyer. I am Samriti Prakash, the coordinator for Center for Maritime Law, along with Swayam Sampamwanti, would be hosting this session.
Aishwarye sir has previously worked at National Maritime Foundation, which is the only maritime think tank in India. Sir, during his tenure at National Maritime Foundation, has worked on various legislations, inter alia, Indian Ports Act, Merchant Shipping Act, and India Maritime Foundation 2030. Sir actively engages as a maritime lawyer and consultant, including his current position at Euro Exim Bank, where he advises on complex legal maritime matters to the Euro Exim Bank. Aishwarye sir is actively engaged as a maritime lawyer and a consultant, including his current position at Euro Exim Bank, where he advises on complex legal maritime matters. Aishwarye sir's multifaceted career is a testament to his passion and dedication for maritime law. And we are really excited to dive into a conversation that will be as enlightening as engaging. And the conversation starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, sir. My name is Samriti Prakash, and I'm the coordinator for Center for Maritime Law. We welcome you to our very first podcast session named CML Talks, and we thank you for taking out time for us. So we would like to know how have you been, and hope you're doing well. So, sir, please tell us about you.
I'm doing well. Thank you for inviting me, and best of luck from my side. This is your first podcast series. This center has been very close to my heart, while as a student as well as freshman. And in the past as well, we have been associated. Even now, we are associated. But I wish you the best of luck, and let's see how it goes.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
So, sir, can you... sorry.
Sir, maritime law is a very less explored area in legal practice across India. It's a very niche area.
Yeah.
Can you make us aware of a normal, typical day in the life of a maritime lawyer in India?
See, every day is very different. If you say when I'm stationed in my house, then it starts at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I go for my usual workout, and by 8:39, I'm down to business. So when I say I'm down to business, I start dealing with certain claims and matters that are there, as well as if at all certain advisories need to be given to some of my clients, that is done. Now, this is the day when I'm at my place or I'm in the office. If I have to travel, then it's a very different ballgame altogether, because you need to travel to another district or let's say another state wherein you have to go and settle the claims. Now, usually the claims can come up in Mumbai, Chennai, Vizag, Kolkata, the coastal cities. But sometimes you also have to travel abroad as well, such as Singapore, Dubai, and so on and so forth. So then it's a very different game wherein you need to adjust your body clock. One, you need to be prepared for what is coming. Many a times you come across people with different cultures, different nationalities. Then we need to understand how to tackle them. First and foremost is you need to strike a rapport with the other party. That is, can be the client or even the opposite party who's at the other end. Many a times you find different parties sitting together, and then you're going to meet them and try and address their claims or whatever the grievances are. So first and foremost, you need to understand how to talk to them, how to gel with them. And only then when you have struck a rapport with them, only then can you move ahead with your business part. So that is how usually the day goes. Many a times it's just very smooth, and many a times you have to work hard late in the night, go for 2 hours of sleep, and then again wake up. You have to travel. So no 2 days are the same, but it's very when you are young, it's very exciting. However, as you grow old, it takes some amount of toll on your body.
Right. So, sir, can you please tell us what are the different type of claims that you handle in India and abroad? What are the different types of claims that you come up with?
Yeah, it can be from cargo loss, insurance claims. Sometimes seafarer claims are also there. So now this is something which I wanted to talk about. That seafarer claims are usually not heard in the public, but then they are there. Let me give you an example. When you talk about seafarer claims, there are service claims which are there. There are, suppose a person has gone overboard. That is, he or she has jumped off the ship or gone missing. Then at that point in time, such claims are also handled by me. Wherein it's the person's body is found out, then we try and hand it over back to their parents or relatives or whoever the guardian is. If that is not done, then we try and address how to understand the grievances of the parents or the wife or the children, whoever are there. Because when things are happening out at the sea, not the mainstream media does not cover it because they don't get to know about it. But we as lawyers get to know about it and we need to address it. And when I say we, the maritime industry tries to shun it. But overall, we need to address it in this area of social media. Wi-Fi is available on ships, but even then, people are afraid to people are afraid to report these matters out there in the public domain. So the reason being that, one, many companies do not encourage this. Two, even if companies do encourage this, whoever is the whistleblower, that person will be heckled like anything. The law enforcement agencies, as well as the companies, and even his own crew members, will heckle him. We try to downplay the matter. So these are certain claims that come up. When we talk about absolute commercial claims, there are container claims as well. We might be knowing about the MD Evergreen, if you have heard about that case, which was there. So these claims are also there. There was this MD Dady, which was there in US. You could have seen that the ship collided in the bridge, the Baltimore Bridge. So those things are also happening. So collisions are there, cargo claims are there, insurance claims are there, delay is there, damage is there. So a whole lot of pieces are there. It's just like mainstream legal fraternity. In the mainstream fraternity, we have very less number of lawyers who are very, how should I say it, very trained to handle such things. Overall, by experience, certainly everybody gets acquainted. But when we talk about specialized training, that is missing. And for that, we need to come up with something in our domestic maritime industry.
Great. So, sir, can you please tell us your role as a consultant to Euro Exim Bank and what do you do as a consultant to that?
All right, let me first tell you, I have signed a non-disclosure agreement with them. So I really cannot talk about that in the public domain. What I can tell you is it deals with business intelligence. It deals with some amount of due diligence. And this is roughly about trade and maritime. So that is my role when I talk about the Exim Bank.
Swam.
Sir, you have previously worked with National Maritime Foundation, which is the sole think tank which works for maritime legal jurisprudence in India. Yeah. Sir, can you explain what does National Maritime Foundation does? Or some of its landmark work? Or some of its landmark works?
Yeah, I think. So National Maritime Foundation is the premier think tank of the country. It's the oldest as well. When I say think tank, the maritime think tank. It specifically deals with maritime issues of the country as well as abroad. It deals with track 1.5 diplomacy as well. So people who are familiar with the diplomacy, track 1 is the government to government. Track 1.5 is when the government officials in an official capacity, they deal with diplomatic matters outside of the government. All right, they are part of the government. They are serving officers. But then again, they engage each other. They engage the different countries, different counterparts in a one-to-one basis. Let's say when I was there, so a US delegation came along, and we were also involved with the organization of the Indo-Pacific Regional Dialogue. Now, this is a flagship program of the Indian Navy as well as the Indian maritime sector. Now, this program, wherein many different countries come together and they discuss about the strategic as well as tactical maritime matters. They discuss, delegate, and they come up with certain solutions of the way forward. This is one part of the National Maritime Foundation. The other part of the work that they do is research and advocacy. When I say research and advocacy, it deals with all sorts of matters which are maritime. Let's say laws of war, that is law of naval warfare is there. International humanitarian law is there. Public international maritime law is there. Private international maritime law is there. So when I say public, it deals with UNCLOS and the associated legislations that are there. When I say private international maritime law, then it deals with the conventions as well as all sorts of matters which are connected to the shipping industry, that is the commercial shipping industry. So that is the other aspect. The third aspect is they also engage with education institutions, such as Symbiosis Law School. When I was there as a fellow of the National Maritime Foundation, we engaged in different training programs as well as certificate programs for different institutions like Symbiosis Law University. Therein, we planned a course for the students out there and we engaged with them. We taught them. That is, not many people in the country know as to what maritime law is all about. So we enlightened them as to what are the possibilities in this industry and how you can be a part of this industry. Let's say if you want to become a JAG officer, Navy JAG, then there are avenues for you. If you want to come in the sea tanking industry, then also these avenues are available for you. So a lot of avenues are there. It's just that you need to be specifically trained. You need to have that amount of education with you. And these are the certain areas wherein the National Maritime Foundation focuses on.
So coming to the legal background and the lack of the knowledge that people have regarding maritime law, as it is a niche area. So can you please tell us the current gaps that need to be fulfilled by the current legal institutions, and so that people are aware of such issues and such things, and they can be properly trained so that they can adhere to such issues regarding maritime?
Let's first talk about the infrastructure part. Now, maritime law, when I say, you need to understand what maritime law is first and foremost. You need to have academic expertise if you want to teach maritime law. And they are very less taken. Let me tell you, even today, when we are discussing this, there are very few faculties who actually teach maritime law in the country. What happens is when you get acquainted, when you are thorough, when you have expertise in maritime law, people usually don't stay back in India. They go abroad because you already know that the pay and the remuneration package is far, far better. So firstly, foremost is we need faculty who can teach us, who can teach the students. That is one gap. This is the biggest gap, let me tell you. Books and all come later. First and foremost, we need to have trained people who are actually either maritime lawyers or maritime academicians. That's the first part. Second, you would be surprised to know that in the country, as of now, we have very few people who actually write books on maritime law. I can count on my fingers. So when you don't have domestic maritime legal expertise as a book in your hand, how will you understand as to what are the nitty-gritties which need to be understood about the country's infrastructure relating to maritime laws? So that is the second aspect. Third and most important thing is the institutions, whether they are private or they are government institutions, they do not offer courses. And this is in a way linked to the fact that they don't know about this industry. Many a times I come across lawyers who are not even qualified, who don't have any kind of legal training in maritime legal fraternity. But even then they are practicing and they're knowing and they're gradually improving because of the fact that they're getting experience. But if you ask them about very specific things, they have no clue. So that is the biggest gap. Faculty, infrastructure, body books, as well as the courses. One or two offline or online credit courses will be of no use. You need to have a full length semester paper. You need to have specialized degrees, LLM, or even while you're doing LLB, BLLB, you need to have at least 2 to 4 papers in your syllabus relating to maritime law. Only then you get a hang of it. These are the main problems.
So, sir, can you please tell us the limitations in the existing maritime laws that we have in India? For instance, Anti-Maritime Piracy Bill Act was introduced in 2022. So, such as that. So, what are the limitations in the laws with related to maritime law in India?
I wouldn't talk about very specific legislations because we are short of time for that. But the first and foremost thing is we go into a knee-jerk reaction. Okay. Now, this current government, which is there in central government, this government, in my knowledge and understanding, is the first government who has specifically focused on the maritime sector, whether it's the strategic sector, that is for the Indian Navy, or for the commercial maritime sector. This is the first time that we're seeing all these things. Maritime India Vision, Indian Ports Bill, Merchant Shipping Act, all these things are being revamped. They were there since 70, 80 years. The Indian Ports Bill was there since 110 years. So now they're being revamped. This is the first thing. This is the first challenge that needs to be done. Legislations. They need to be revamped because situations currently are very, very different from what they were 70 years ago. Second aspect would be many a times we try and tend to emulate the legislations which are there outside of the country, such as in England or other different jurisdictions. We do not focus on the fact that we need to have legislations which are customized to our own understanding, which are customized to our own circumstances. When we don't do that, what happens is our problems do not get addressed properly in the courts. All right. Then in the courts as well when the industry, that is the Indian legal fraternity, is not very well aware of what claims are coming up, or even the courts are not aware. Many times you find judges who are not aware. And we have to talk to them. We have to enlighten the court that, sir, this is the situation and these are the intricacies. Then they get to know. So institutionalized training, both to the bar and the bench, is very, very, very important when we talk about maritime law. Different courts are there, different, such as the Bombay High Court's there. We have a specific court for maritime claims. But then again, one or two off and on courts won't do. We need to have institutionalized structures, such as when the claims come up, when we come up with any kind of problem that disputes arise, then that needs to go in an institutional setup. Let's say area, it needs to go there. If at all they can get their dispute resolved, fair enough. If not, only then should they go towards the courts. Because the shipping industry is very, very time-centric. Every single minute counts. Every single minute. Let me tell you. You are 1 hour late, your ship will go on demurrage. It will exceed the time limit. And that results in loss of money. So these small intricacies, these small tweaks are done, it will be a bigger impact in the industry, at least in the Indian maritime industry.
As you said that the current government has brought many legislations related to maritime law in India. So you have what in Indian Ports Bill. you have prepared a review report on that in your work at National Maritime Foundation. Sir, how does that Indian ports will impact port operations and management?
All right. It's a different ballgame, the Indian ports bill that was introduced very recently. The first most important thing is it introduces digitization. Current dispensation across the world needs to be digitized. So it brings about digitization in amongst all the ports which are there. The Indian Ports Bill 1908 did not have all this because obviously there was no digitization back then. So that's one. Second is transparency in port tariffs. Hidden charges have been removed. Transparency has been introduced. And that introduces confidence in different clients and customers, as well as exporters and importers across the globe. When your shipping industry, when your port industry is robust, it's very customer-centric, exporter-centric, importer-centric, then you get more amount of traffic. When I say traffic, when it means that more amount of cargo comes in and goes. Okay? The next thing is it has a 3-tier dispute resolution mechanism. That is a game changer. When you have a 3-tier dispute resolution mechanism, you can get your dispute resolved in a fast and efficient manner. That's also very important. When I talk about the different trivial matters, then you can talk about the fact that the state maritime boards, they have been empowered to adjudicate the disputes which are within their own jurisdiction, which, let's say, we talk about Tamil Nadu. So Tamil Nadu State Maritime Board can adjudicate disputes within their own jurisdiction. That part is a very game-changing part, technically. All right. So these, and most importantly, it introduces this element of green shipping in the industry. Because you might be knowing about the carbon emissions that are being propagated by different shipping lines. So after sulfur cap that was introduced in the industry, this Indian Ports Bill will provide some amount of incentive to the different shipping players in the industry to move towards greener shipping, which is very, very important. Very, very important. Because we are using crude oil. Right? So the emissions are very high. So we need to bring them down if we need to save our planet.
You have also worked on Merchant Shipping Act 2020. Can you briefly explain what's the objective of that, or what the act sits to resolve or bring in?
Merchant shipping, as the name suggests, it is about the merchant marine. It does not talk about the Indian Navy personnel or the Coast Guard personnel. It talks about different other aspects of the merchant marine, such as compensations there. What are the terms of service which would be there? What will be the different documentation processes which need to be taken care of when you're talking about seafarers? So these are certain aspects which are there in the Merchant Shipping Act. Earlier as well, they were there, but now they need to be revamped because as time is passing by, we are facing newer and newer challenges. When it was introduced in probably 1950s, at that point in time, we did not think about digitization or Wi-Fi or different other amenities for the seafarers. But now they are there because you are connected to the world through satellite. So all these things need to be taken care of, and that is the exact reason why the government has brought in a new Merchant Shipping Act. So these are certain aspects which are there in the Merchant Shipping Act.
So we would like to know what is the future of maritime arbitration in India, and how can we in particular work around in building India as one of the leading destinations for maritime arbitration?
It's a very different question that you asked. I was not prepared to answer this, but all right. Anyway, so let me tell you, first and foremost thing is we need to have infrastructure. Like I've been talking about in the previous section of this introduction. let's just say the three of us are there and we are shipping players in the industry. If at all there's a dispute, can we go to the court, or would we want to sit down right in front of each other, talk to each other, and resolve a dispute? It's better that we sit across the table and discuss it over a cup of coffee or over lunch, because we don't have time for all this. When you go to the court, it may expand up to years and years, your claims, and nobody's willing to spend that much amount of time, effort, and money. So first and foremost, we need to have institutionalized structures. You might be aware of the Gift City, Gujarat. It's in Gandhinagar, Gujarat.
Yes.
So Gift City is one of the prime examples wherein you come across such an institution structure. Now, one of the drawbacks I personally feel is that Gift City is not located near to the coast. All right. Now let's move on to a different city, Singapore. Singapore International Arbitration Center is situated in the city-state of Singapore itself. So the port is there, the Changi port is there. You go, you can see your vessel, you can see what the claims are, you can see the damage that has been done. And within probably 6 hours or so, you can get your dispute resolved because they have an institutional structure. The moment you go, you can sit, you can file your claim, and you can discuss it across the table. Here, you need to have, in our country, we need to have such robust mechanisms wherein time is safe. Because most important in our industry, it is always about time. Because the moment you start losing time, you start losing money. So, institutionalized structures, and you need to have specifically trained maritime arbitrators who have understanding about maritime operations. Only and only if you have understanding about maritime legal aspects, you won't sail very far. Let me tell you, very frankly. Until and unless you have knowledge about sea-going vessels, you have knowledge about what are the different problems that might arise while the ship is sailing or when the ship is in the high seas, you will not be able to resolve the dispute, whether as a mediator, as an arbitrator. As an arbitrator, you will not be able to give the right award that needs to be given. You will be giving an award, you'll be awarding an arbitral award, which will be appealed. All right? So, one is institutional structure. Second is the training of the maritime arbitrators. Third and most important thing is awareness. Awareness amongst the shipping players, the different stakeholders in the industry. Until unless people are aware that yes, there is a place known as Gift City, there's a place known as XYZ Arbitration Center, which is dedicated towards resolving our disputes. Nobody will go there. And for this very purpose, we need to have the government as well as the private players, let's say shipping lines, lawyers, freight forwarders, custom house agents. All these people need to be aware about what are the different changes that are coming across. If you open a center and nobody gets to know about it, it's of really no use. Until and unless it comes out in the media, mainstream media needs to cover all this, which sadly nobody does. So all these things need to be taken care of. Awareness is of prime importance. Until and unless you market your product, people know that there's an institution which will resolve our claims in a fast manner. It's of no use, really. I can vouch for that.
As we said about maritime dispute resolution, sir, what is the one thing you love about being a maritime lawyer?
All right. The one thing that I would say is it gives me a lot of challenge. Many a times you come across very complicated matters. Many parties are involved and everybody is heckling each other. Everybody does not want to come on the same table and talk to each other. People, they don't want to pick up the phone and make the call. Would you believe that? Just because of the fact that they are very enraged against each other. So these are the problems that you are facing. That is one, that you need to tackle such problems. That is the communication problems that are there. Second, when things complicate, you need to be a good researcher. You need to come up with different legal cases. If certain things have happened, can they be connected to some precedent which has happened in the past? And many a times, those precedents are not available in the Indian legal fraternity. You need to look outside. Right? They have persuasive value. They will make the court understand, okay, that this situation has arisen in the past in a different jurisdiction. So whatever the problems that they have faced, we can also employ the same strategy so as to resolve that dispute in our country. All right. So research is the second part. Third and most important thing is it makes me sharpen my negotiation skills. You might not be knowing this. While I was a student in NLUO Odisha, I was a fairly decent negotiator. I was into ADR competitions. So, though that training that I got while I was a student in NLUO Odisha, that helps me every single day as a maritime lawyer. One is not the idea, which is connected because whatever I did in the past as she. Second is the fact that it keeps your brain working. You have to think on your feet. You have to be a street smart lawyer. When you negotiate, you always have to understand that what are the demands, what are the needs of the client, and then understand what is the other party thinking. Can we come to an understanding? Yes or no? If no, then we have to go to court. If yes, okay, we can resolve this and we can do further business in the future. So all these things are it keeps my brain working. So that is the kick that I get from being a maritime lawyer.
Sir, as you remember your experience at National Law University Odisha, sir, you are one of the founding members of Center for Maritime Law. Sir, how did you get exposed to the field of maritime law at National Law University Odisha?
It's a long story. While let me tell you something about myself. I come a family of seafarers. My father and my brothers are serving seafarers. So I've known this industry since my childhood. That's one part of it. Maritime claims that used to come up, I was to an extent aware of what's happening in the industry, right? So I was already acquainted. It's just that when I came to NLUO Odisha, there was one faculty who taught us UNCLOS. That gave me the impetus to know more about this industry because I was born in this industry. I was seafarer's son. So I could understand that, okay, let me digress a bit. The maritime sector, the shipping sector has its own vocabulary. When I say vocabulary, if I say, could you tell me what is the galley of a ship? A normal person won't understand what is a galley. It's the kitchen of the ship. All right. So these certain terms which are there, you won't find them. You need to learn about them. You need to understand the vocabulary. I was already aware of the vocabulary. I just need to understand the legal principles. And 9 out of 10 times, the maritime laws that we deal with are contractual in nature. Maritime law is mostly contractual in nature. If you talk about private international maritime law, public international maritime law has criminal aspects. It has other civil aspects to it. But I was fairly aware as to what the different legal principles are. And in my third year, I got to know about UNCLOS. So from that year onwards, life changed.
Understood, sir. So we want to know, what are the activities that you enjoyed during your college days, apart from inclining towards the field of maritime law?
Let me tell you something about myself. I was not a very studious person, let me tell you. I was a member of the sports committee. I was a co-open sports committee. And I used to play the whole day. Volleyball, cricket, football, whole day. Till the time I came into my fourth year. In my fourth year, when I looked at my CV, it was a half-page CV, half-page. Okay? And then I understood that I can't do mooting. I have no experience in mooting. boats have already been allocated to different teams, whether they are seniors or juniors, whatever. So what are my options? And one fine day, probably it was this month itself, in the month of August 2014, I came across an ADR tournament that was being organized, an international ADR tournament being organized in Bhopal. So I had a chat with my friends and they said, fine, we can go. So from then onwards, my life changed. ADR as well as maritime were going side by side, hand in hand. And as I was gradually understanding about maritime law, we had certain books about maritime law in library. I used to often read those books. And subsequently, I was also getting trained in ADR. So that combination, that was, whether fortunately or unfortunately, that was coming about, that changed my life. ADR literally changed my life. It made me a very different person, let me tell you. I was a debater, but I was not a negotiator. I gradually learned negotiation, mediation, all these things while I participated in ADR tournaments. So, yeah, these were my golden memories of many years.
Let's shift the discussion towards some informal notes. Sir, what were your favorite hangout spots near NLUO during your days?
I couldn't understand.
What were
your favorite hangout spots?
Oh, all right. Okay. So one was across the road, that is the Kathjodi road is there. I used to go and sit by the riverside, all alone. I used to listen to songs, put up my earphone, and that was my favorite place. I used to dip my legs in the water and sit there for 2-3 hours in the evening. So that was one. That's the first. Second one was the sports arena that was there. Being a sports person, I used to play the whole day. So I used to sit near this volleyball court, and basketball, all these places. I used to sit there. It made me feel really amazing. So those two places. Apart from that, what else? I would say the library wasn't constructed back then, so we had no choice to go and sit in the library. But yeah, those two places summed up my life. Apart from that, if I had to hang out outside, I used to go to Barabati Fort and roam around near the Barabati Stadium. That was all. In the campus itself, I used to roam around just these places. And the park that is there, right beside the entrance. To an extent, I used to sit there, but other people were also sitting there. So avoided going there.
So we want to know what message you would like to share for our center, and if any improvements and any feedbacks that you can give to our center, we would like to work upon that.
My advice to the center was, first and foremost, learn about job alumni who are there in the maritime sector. There are many, let me tell you upfront, I'm telling you this. Connect with them, learn about their experiences, then try and come up with some sort of an interaction module with the current students that who are studying in NLUO, whether they are BLLB, BDLLB, or different other programs, even LLM for that matter, so that they also get an understanding about this industry, the professions that are there, and as alumni, we are ready to help. It's just that there's a disconnect between the alumni and the current student fraternity that was there in NLUO. So that's one aspect that you need to be working on. The other aspect is, I would say that some sort of excursion trips for the students organized by the center can be organized to nearby ports. Dhamra port is there, Paradip port is there, Visakhapatnam is there. So you need to go and visit those places. While I was doing my LLM, I visited these ports. I already had exposure about going to ports and living near ports, I've already done that. But for people who have never seen a vessel, who have never seen a ship, or never been on a cargo vessel, they won't have that much amount of clarity about maritime law. All right. So excursion trips can be organized. Third, I would say that the center's reach in terms of awareness, in terms of its electronic presence, needs to be enhanced. Currently, the center is growing, but the potential for growth is enormous. This center needs to engage with the industry partners, because when you engage with them, first and foremost, you get knowledge. Second, you get understanding about maritime operations and the legal policy that is there. Third, the most important thing is placements. These placements will help you, because at the end of the day, after you're done with your 5 years, you need to have jobs in your hands. And if you need to have jobs in your hands, you need to engage with the industry. So these are my 3 things in advice that I need to be at the center. I would be really happy if they can be implemented. And I look forward to seeing more people on this podcast, more models of leading group teams who can come and contribute to building this center. Yeah, that's all.
Certainly, sir. We'll try to bring more people like you. So to conclude the session.
Not like me, better people. Yeah.
So to conclude this session, I will just state that your vast experience in maritime law has illuminated the complexities of maritime law for us, and also inspired us to explore the vast potential this field holds. Sir, you have shared your its lights of experience on the gaps of the current maritime legal framework. And before we conclude, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to you for your time and valuable contributions in your weekend.
I'm always ready to help, and it was certainly a very pleasurable experience for me as well, talking to my juniors, still junior, I would say. The age gap is quite a lot, but then again, anything for NLUOs, I'm always ready to help and ready to engage with students. And I look forward to much more interaction with the center and the students. Let's hope it brings forward. Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure talking to both of you, and all the best for your future.
Thank you, sir. Your words are truly inspiring for us. Thank you, sir.
You're always no. Thank you.
Bye.